Linguistic Maranaos. The Meranao people, Meranao, Mrana, Filipino, Meranao, based on Papanoka Mera, also spelled Meranao, Meranao, based on Marapatig, and Meranao, is the term used by the Philippine government to refer to the southern tribe who are the people of the lake. Ranao in the Iranayan language, a predominantly Muslim region of the Philippine island of Mindanao. They are known for their artwork, weaving, wood, plastic and metal crafts and epic literature, the Durangan. Etymology. The word Meranao is a misnomer as it does not have a sense in reference to nouns such as people, places or things. The prefix ma means to be, i.e., Meranao means to be a sea. Alternatively, the word Meranao may be a portmanteau of Malay and Lanao, or sea Lanao, thus making it Meranao, which means people living around Lake Lanao. The proper term is Iranan, also Iranan, which means people of the sea, referring to the indigenous people who inhabited the lands around the lake. The Maranaos are part of the wider Moro ethnic group. The ancient people in mainland Mindanao were called Iranan, also spelled Iranan, of the coastal area of Alana Bay, Ilian in Meranao, and Iranayan, the people in Bembaran, Bumbaran or Bukidnon and Kiaranda o Regata Tiangco Palayagan, in local language. Volcanic activity developed a flat land surface little by little. Modern science describes this process as sedimentary formation and residual remains that forms the low and flat land surface in the coastal areas. This land is rich and suitable for agriculture. The Meranao vernacular called it Ira, which means remains. Thus, the name of the people in the coastal area of Alana Bay is another portmanteau of Ira plus Ranao, or people living in the remains in the coastal areas. In present days, the Meranao use the word to refer to Dao Sa Ragat, the people of Lanao who migrated to sea area, while the Maranaos are people who stayed around the lake. They share lineages, culture, bravery, i.g., Gandamatu sa Ranao at Tambaga sa Makatar, Wadia Lante Dikritan Patada Pagangan, Fagram sa Kinikit, Kansa Batobarani, and history. They are called Meranao as a general term. Culture. Meranao culture can be characterized by Lake Lanao, Saramanic, Papanoka Mra and Marapatic. Torogan, the highest form of a Meranao royal house, where the architecture used is the most aesthetic in the Philippines. Darangan, a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. Kiram, pre-Hispanic handwriting based from Arabic letters with 19 consonants and 7 vowels. Singkil, a Philippine dance. Okiran, wooden artifacts and brasswares. Kapmorad and Kakaliling with Sambalayang and Pasandalan, a Morog and Maragay for Kazapasamangas. Kaplagud, racing horse. The culture of the Maranaos is centered on Lake Lanao, the largest in Mindanao, and the second largest and deepest lake in the Philippines. This lake is the subject of various myths and legends. It supports a major fishery, and powers the hydroelectric plant installed on it. The Agus River system generates 70% of the electricity used by the people of Mindanao. A commanding view of the lake is offered by Marawi City, the provincial capital. Language. Meranao is an Austronesian language spoken by the Meranao people in the provinces of Lanao del Norte and Lanao del Sur. Because of the mass influx of Cebuano migrants to Mindanao, many Maranaos are also fluent in Cebuano. Arabic, a Central Semitic language, is spoken by a minority of the Moro people, as it is the liturgical language of Islam. Most Maranaos, however, do not know Arabic beyond its religious use. Chabacano, sometimes spelled as Chabacano or Chabacano, is a Philippine Spanish Creole that gained popularity as a major language during the short-lived Republic of Zamboanga. Most Maranaos with part Tausug or Yakan from Zamboanga and Basilan are conversant, specifically the Zamboanga dialect known as Zamboangueño. Art. Saramanic, Papanoka, Mra, or Marapatic, is a legendary bird of the Meranao that is a ubiquitous symbol of their art. It is depicted as a hudhud Arabic with colorful wings and feathered tail, holding a fish on its beak or talons. The head of Saramanic is like the head of a hoopoe, balalatok in Meranao, and is profusely decorated with scroll, leaf and spiral motifs. It is a symbol of good fortune. The Meranao have also developed their own adaptation of the Ramayana epic, the Maharadya Lawana. They also have a traditional dance, the Singkil, which was based on another local Ramayana adaptation, the Darangan. Music. Meranao kulintang music is a type of a gong music. Saranifas also found among both Muslim and non-Muslim groups of the southern Philippines. Kabing is a Meranao instrument and biyula is another popular instrument. Biyula is a string instrument. In 2005, the Darangan epic of the Meranao people of Lake Lanao was selected by UNESCO as a masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. Cuisine. Meranao cuisine is quite spicy. Traditionally cultivated spices, locally known as palapa, bontang, native product and gandamatu, are a common condiment. It is made of stewed scallion bulbs or sakarab in Meranao. Thinly sliced scallion bulbs and ginger are caramelized by slow cooking and mixed with chilies and coconut oil. Dishes are intertwined with important cultural rituals across all aspects of Meranao culture, from birth to death. Social structure. Traditionally, the Meranao society is divided into two strata. Namely, Mapayatao, pure, and Kasilidan, mixed blood. Kasilidan is further subdivided into categories which are as follows: Sarawang, non-Meranao, Balbal, beast, Dagamot, sorcerer, sorceress, and Bisaya, slave. The Mapayatao are those natives who are entitled to ascend to thrones and has a pure royal bloodline. On the other hand, the Kasilidan are those natives who are suspected of mixed bloodline. However, due to the changes brought by time, these social strata are beginning to decline due to the rise of wealth of each and every Meranao families. Demographics. Meranao's number about 1,720,000. Along with the Iranan and Maguindanao, the Meranao are one of three related, indigenous groups native to Mindanao. These groups share genes, linguistic and cultural ties to non-Muslim Lumad groups such as the Tiruray or Subanan. Meranao royals have varied infusions of Arab, Indian, Malay, and Chinese ancestry. History. As with other indigenous and Mindanao Lumads, during the nominal occupation of the Philippines by the Spanish, and later the American and the Japanese, the Maranaos had tribal leaders whom they called Datu. In the 14th century, upon the arrival of Islam, they developed into a kingdom with a sultan due to the influence of Muslim missionaries. Notable Maranaos. Mamintal A.J. Tamano was a Filipino statesman and a former senator of the Philippines. Adel Tamano is a Filipino educator, lawyer and former politician. Ansaridan Alanto Adiong is a Filipino politician and current acting governor of the Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, ARMM. Mamintal M. Adiong Sr. was a longtime Filipino politician, serving as governor of Lanao del Sur from 2001 until his death from cardiac arrest. Mamintal Alanto Adiong Jr. is the present governor of the province of Lanao del Sur. Abul Khair Alanto is a Filipino businessman and lawyer. Damasangke Pundato is a former Moro revolutionary leader and current Under-Secretary of the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process. Datu Yusof Boyeg Mama is a Filipino philanthropist and composer. Habib W. Makayong is the current president of the Mindanao State University. He is also a peace advocate and is the first to implement the addition of a peace education class in the curriculum of all of the university's provided courses. Notes and references. External links. Meranao. Meranao Online. Ranao Lake terms for Lanao del Sur.